Hello again. Today's footage is from Valentine's Day. So after we got off work, Emily actually got off work early. She had a short day, so she wanted to come and help do some work on the spare room trailer. So as you can see, it's been a little cluttered. The problem with storing the materials you're using to build in the area that you're building tends to be a challenge for storage. So at the moment, we are working on getting everything sorted and figured out and moved so that I can sort and figure out and move it again and then sort it and move it and put it in its place. Wow, and I apologize. I totally thought that the camera was further to the side. So those ended up getting just put completely right in the center of the screen. Wow. But that's okay. Those are the cottonwood boards that are actually the bug barrier. And this particular 3x3 therefor is going to be used over here to make a frame for the door. So I gotta get that cut down. And set aside. This one is going to be the other side of the door frame. The jamb and the door itself will be made out of oak. However, that particular lumber is still sitting on the ground in tree shape. So in the not too distant future, hopefully we get enough dry days in a row that I can head out there and spend a few minutes to actually, well, not a few minutes, it'll take a good chunk of time, but drag that out of the forest to where I can actually work on it and get it bucked up into pieces. And then, honestly, it'll probably go straight over to the sawmill, and the majority of it will get milled into 2-inch slabs, I think, because that'll make a good solid hardwood door. Still mulling around in my head about how I actually want to build that door. There's a part of me that wants to put some stained glass in it, because both Emily and I love the look of stained glass, and since I can make stained glass, there's no real reason not to. That's been one of the funnest hobbies I've picked up over the years. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some tempered glass that we can use to seal the stained glass in and protect it, and then have a stained glass panel or several in the door. I don't know. We'll see. It might be fun to do clear stained glass too, like beveled stained glass, so that it looks crystal-like. That would be kind of cool as well. So anyway, what we were just doing was trying to figure out what sizes we needed to get things. So I briefly mentioned that one of the challenges we're going to have to, in a previous video I briefly mentioned, but one of the challenges that we're going to have to overcome is that the subfloor has to have something on the ends for it to attach to. And so each floor joist has to have a brace in between the joists. And then the closet doesn't need subfloor because the cabinet carcasses that are going to go into the closet to create the storage space will create their own subfloor. So to maximize the insulation, because that's one of the things we've learned living in a camper, closet space is one of the places that you have really bad moisture problems. There's no airflow in there, so you get some moisture in there because you were, maybe boiling a pot of water for some spaghetti or something, or taking a shower a little too long, or I don't know. There's so many ways you get moisture. You were just breathing while you sleep. Anyway, so the closets will have full insulation, so we don't have to ever worry about that. So we've got the measurements for that. We realized that I needed to go to the hardware store, although at this point, it's only a week ago. But I don't remember what I actually had to go to the hardware store for. It was something we needed for this project. Oh, nails. I needed to get more nails for the nail gun. And longer nails. The ones that I have, I wasn't pleased with how they were sticking, so I wanted to get some longer ones. But anyway, so Emily volunteered to work on cutting some of the pieces that we needed. So I had to kind of show her a little bit. She's very capable with a lot of this stuff, but she's still somewhat new to most of it. So we both agreed it would be smart to just kind of walk through how to make sure she's doing this safely. Which apparently includes sending texts. And selfies. Actually, I think she was talking. I think that was a Marco Polo to her sisters. And now that I'm remembering and thinking about that, one of her sisters actually commented that she thought I was crazy for letting Emily work unsupervised. Or maybe it was that it was crazy that I was able to let her work unsupervised. I don't know. We'll have to ask her when she gets off the airplane, because she's currently in the air, or well, I think she's actually still waiting to board. But she's coming home from a family vacation with her family, where they went on a 7-day cruise. And I gotta tell you, this last week has been pretty crappy. But it is what it is. Coming in the future videos is the project that I decided to use to fill time while she was gone. I ended up working on making a jewelry box for her, and I'm almost done with it. I don't think it'll be quite done by the time she gets home, and it's okay to mention that in this video because this video probably won't go live until tomorrow morning, and she'll be home by then and have seen it. So, no surprise lost there. But I do have most of that process so far filmed as well. It's been a kind of a lesson in frustration. Having no workshop is kind of okay when you're doing, we'll say, construction work. When you're doing stuff like this, but I've tried a couple of times to do some fine woodworking projects. I've got some ash and walnut cutting boards that we made. I've got a knife block we gave to a friend. I've got some wind chimes that I need to get out and actually finish and basically just hang. Maybe I should hang those on the end where we were going to put the sconce. That would be a good spot to hang a wind chime. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. So, but yeah, working on fine woodworking projects is definitely a much, much bigger challenge, especially with temperature variations and humidity variations. I've learned that that's been a pretty big challenge for me. So I look forward to having places to do things, and having a lumber drying shed is definitely in the works for one of those places. For the record, the board I just cut was actually not a screw up on Emily's part. It's a screw up on my part. I actually without paying attention, took the wrong board and put it in took the right board and put it in a different spot. So then, to make that bottom board work, I had to get a different board and cut it down. So anyway, but that's okay. It is what it is. So now you can kind of see what I was telling you about. So this board, this runner that I'm attaching here, is going to be basically the bottom of the closet carcasses, or they'll just be able to sit on that and be screwed down into it. And that gives a little bit of extra insulation space, just to make sure there's pretty much no heat loss through the floor. We don't necessarily have to fill the entire floor space, but since it is a bedroom, we want to make sure that this is as comfortable a place as possible. So what heat gets to this side of the shed, building, room from the other side, from where the wood stove is going to go, we want to be able to stay here. So we probably will insulate that fully down. And then what heat comes from outside during the summer, we actually want to keep out as much as possible, although that comes into play where the roof will be the problem. So what we're doing now is just going through and double checking to make sure that all of the floor joists have been properly attached to the boards beneath them, because a few of them did move just a little bit. We wanted to make sure that we got that eliminated, so there's no squeaking or issues down the road in the future. But with that out of the way, it's pretty much time to get working on the subfloor. I did discover blowing things out with the leaf blower only worked to a degree. So we decided that I obviously needed to vacuum. And it's kind of surprising what a little bit of cleaning and organization does to change the look and feel of that particular space, now that there's not loose boards laying around everywhere. So at this point we're coming close to the end of the footage. I don't remember if the footage got to where I actually get to put down any boards or not, but the look from this point to in future videos where you'll actually be able to see that there's a floor here. It's not the greatest floor because it's subfloor, so eventually we'll have an ash hardwood floor that we'll actually finish and put down a hard wax floor finish. But oh, yep, that's as far as we got for tonight. It was, after all, Valentines, and we did have to spend some time, for Valentines. But thank you, as always, for watching. God bless you and yours, and I hope you're able to stay safe and healthy out there.